Okay, we're going to take a look at cellular respiration. And so you guys have already been doing some reading on this, but this is just kind of a background slide saying here's the main stuff you need to know. So summary equation, which hopefully is a review from back when you guys were freshmen in biology A. Difference between fermentation and aerobic cellular respiration. The role of glycolysis in oxidizing glucose into two molecules of pyruvate, and the process that brings pyruvate from the cytosol into the mitochondria and introduces it to the citric acid cycle, plus how the whole process of chemiosmosis works. So essentially, we just write everything. You need to know everything. All right, background and big picture. In open systems, Earth is an open system for energy. It's open because things can come in and things can go out. So we are a closed system when it comes to matter. We are open when it comes to energy. So light energy comes in from the sun, gets captured by plants in photosynthesis and turned into bonds. Plants capture it and turn it into organic molecules. These organic molecules are then broken down by mitochondria in cellular respiration. And of course, out of this system, we said it's open, so light comes in. Well, guess what? Heat also comes out. So it's open because the energy can flow in and out. Like I said, energy flows in as sunlight. Energy gets transformed into chemical energy. Oxygen is released as a byproduct. This is for plants. And then cells are going to use some of this chemical energy right here in order to make ATP. This is kind of like trading currency. So it starts off with money in one form. It's going to turn it into a different form. The reason why we're spending so much time on this is because AP will talk a lot about free energy. Here's the free energy. It's the light energy coming in from the sun. Not always, but in most of the cases that we're going to talk about, it's this free light energy. Free not meaning like we didn't pay for it, but free meaning it is available to do work. So there is light. It's coming into the earth, and we can use it to do work, which is making these organic molecules. Energy is going to leave as heat. So heat energy could also be free energy. Energy that's free just means, again, that it can be used to do work. Okay. Another couple of vocab terms you need to be familiar with. So complex organic molecules, they get broken down into simpler molecules, and this is a catabolic pathway. We learned before about macromolecules and about hydrolysis. That would be a catabolic pathway. So it's called a pathway because there might be more than one step along the way that these things get broken down into smaller and smaller pieces. And then some of this work is lost as heat. So that's something else to keep in mind, that energy is never transferred over 100% efficiently. Cellular respiration, we call this an exergonic reaction. Exer as in exit for outside. That means it releases energy. So if you take a look at the equation here, we've got glucose plus oxygen gives us water, carbon dioxide, and ATP, which energy can get lost as heat in the creation of that ATP. Photosynthesis, on the other hand, is an endergonic reaction. So during photosynthesis, this actually requires energy, and so heat is not necessarily released all the time, although there is some heat lost in some of these steps. So for an endergonic reaction, ender for into, as in heat or energy is going into this process, we take water, carbon dioxide, and use the energy of light to create glucose and oxygen. All right, so cellular respiration, it relies on these things called redox reactions to transfer chemical energy from food into the chemical energy that the cell can use to do work. Now, we're talking about chemical energy. We mean the energy that is contained in the bonds of atoms, the energy that is holding these things together. And understand that it's not like we can just break those bonds apart and then magically energy shoots out like a beam of light. I mean, kind of, but not really. So what's really happening there is we say it's stored because we can break those bonds and make new bonds that are more stable. So it takes less energy to keep these two molecules together. So energy is stored in chemical bonds the same way that we say that energy is stored in something if it's up here on the top of a cliff. meaning energy is stored there because it can do a lot of work. It could fall all the way down to the bottom. Same thing here. This could do a lot of work. Instead of this bond right here, it can make a new bond right here that is way more stable, which releases energy so that the cell can actually do something. All right, redox reaction gets its name from this: oxidation and reduction. Okay, so oxidation, that is the loss of an electron. It's called this because if you remember, oxygen actually loves electrons. So we say something gets oxidized if it actually gains an electron. So let me back up here. So oxidation is the loss of an electron. So here's this element right here, has this electron. It loses that. Boom, no more electron, and this one gained it. So we say that, oh shoot.